Any type of blog post that drives site traffic starts from a simple system. What if you could have this done all automatically using Make.com and Airtable? Essentially, if you have ever thought about the question, how can I come up with so many blog ideas quickly, then you will love what I'm about to build with you in this video, because this will do all the heavy lifting for you. In this video, I'll show you how to, number one, generate as many as 200 blog post ideas in just 2 minutes using an automated system. And this will not only save you hours of brainstorming, but it will also give you a clear path to be able to focus on the most valuable content for your audience. Because your duty or responsibility will be to just pick and choose the topic that you really want to get into. So here's what we'll cover in this video. Number one, I'm going to speak about how to insert a keyword into an Airtable database to kickstart the whole process. Number two, I'm going to build a system to generate 10 subtopics from each of those keywords and 20 articles for each of those subtopics, leaving us with a net article number of 200. Setting up this Airtable system also means that we can have an approval type of system to refine and organize all of our ideas. So by the end, you'll have a system that turns keywords into, let's say, actionable blog ideas, and it does it effortlessly. So step one is inserting a keyword into the system. Now, before, you might have spent hours trying to figure out which is the best keyword to go for. You might have looked at different tools. You might have paid for some of them. In this method, we're just going to see what is available in terms of the information that is available in a large language model, and we'll use this to come up with the blog ideas. We don't want to end up with a cluttered list that doesn't inspire action. Instead, what we want is that we start by entering one single keyword into our table, and this keyword acts as the foundation for generating ideas. For example, let's use fitness in our situation. What I'm going to show you is how to use Make.com, how to take this keyword and transform it into 10 subtopic ideas. So if I switch to my screen right here, I have an Airtable database, and let's call this blogging content system. And the way this will start is that we will enter a keyword here, or actually let's put the keyword here. And we're going to change this to a single line text. And all we need is a button right here. So I'm going to delete this. And I'm going to say this will be called generate subtopics. So here, this will be a button, and it will have the same label. We can leave this empty for now. And this will call the record ID. So it will be easier to reference this later. And we're going to put in equals record ID in brackets right there. So this will allow us to enter keyword here and then press this button to generate ideas. Now, the way I like doing this is to go to my Make.com, and I will start with a webhook because this will be listening for incoming data. So I can hit create a new webhook here, copy the address to the clipboard. And what I want to do is essentially be able to, when someone presses this button, trigger this webhook. And what I'm going to do is pass along the record ID of this record. So I'm just going to say and record ID, just like so. So this I called record ID. So this is what I'm looking for. So now each time someone enters a keyword there and presses the button, this will trigger the whole thing right here. What I also want to do then is grab the keyword itself. So what you could do is also pass the keyword information through the webhook. Sometimes this works, at other times if you press it too quickly, it will not. Like if I do this and then press this immediately, this takes a few seconds to update in Airtable. So what I found is that if I run into that, I can also use an Airtable module here to get the information of a single record. But for this case, or in this example, let's just pass along the keyword as well. So I'm going to put another and there, and I'm going to pass the keyword information. So keyword equals to, and Let's pass along the keyword there. Hit save. So that will pass the record ID and the keyword of the record in which this generate subtopics button is available. So that will be the first part. And what I want to do is test this out. So if I press generate subtopics here, I should get the record ID and the keyword, which I have done. And what we want now is to connect this to a OpenAI, create a completion, and we want to generate 10 subtopics from this keyword. So here, if we go back here, we said that this will be fitness. And let's choose a model. Let's remove that. And as usual, you can go into as much detail as you want with the prompts that you use. I'm going to keep it simple and I'm just going to say, come up with 10 sub keywords based on this main keyword. Then I'm just going to pass along the keyword information. And this will give me 10 sub keywords. Now, what I want to do is have potentially another table. So this will be let's call it step 1. Let's go and call this step number 2. And let's go and call this step number 3. So in step number 2, what we want is that we get, first of all, I want to have the same record ID here. So let's have a formula. And let's say that this equals to record ID. And here, what I want is to have the keyword. Well, let's just keep it very simple. I will have the keyword here, which will be a single line text, which we will get from the first step. And then we can also have sub keywords. So potentially this would be, if we were to keep it like really simple, we would have fitness here, and then the first sub keyword here, fitness here, and the second sub keyword there, and so on and so forth. A different way of doing it would be to just remove this here, and instead potentially linking this together. So in step 2, we could have a link to another record found in step 1. We can create the field. We don't want to link to multiple records though. So let me delete this. And what we want is a link to another record in step 1, which will link to one record ID or to one keyword. So let's just add that. So essentially here, once we get the sub keyword, should be a single line text, we can then link it to something from step 1. So for example, if the sub keyword for fitness would be, I don't know, gym training, this could then link to this record called fitness. So gym training now links to fitness. If I have, I don't know, CrossFit, this could also link to fitness. So we're using the record ID here in order to link to the parent keyword, so to speak. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, yeah, let's do this and keep it very structured. So let's output this in JSON in this format. So it's just sub keyword keyword 1. Let's actually output as an array. Sub keyword 1. And we can do this for all those 10. So 2, 3, and 10. Double check this is correct JSON, which it might not be. Yep. So here, I think we need to call, let's say this is sub keywords. I'm not sure if that's the, yeah, okay. So now I have an array of sub keywords. Let's go back to make. paste that in there. And all I'm going to say is the first output character should be open curly brackets, and the last a close curly bracket. I'm going to go here to the advanced settings, output in JSON, and parse the response. So now, if I were to run this once and go back here to step 1, first of all, I'm going to remove all the stuff, and I'm going to press generate subtopics. And this should give me an array of results, which it has done. So under fitness, we have exercise routines, gym workouts, cardio exercises, and so on and so forth. What I want is to store all this information in step 2 as a sub keyword linking to the main keyword. So I already have the main keyword, which is fitness, and its record ID. So all I need to do is go to Airtable. I'm going to create a record. And before I need to do one other thing if I want to keep it simple, because this is an array. But what I want to do is convert this into bundles. So I'll be able to create each record individually. So here, I'm going to add a module. I'm going to use the iterator. So for one array, I'll go into bundles. And now, if I find my base, which is called blogging content system, and choose my table, which is called step 2, I should be able to essentially, for step 1, pass along the record ID from before. And for the keyword, I'll be able to pass the value from the iterator, which for some reason isn't showing here, but it should be the module number, which is 4, and the variable is called value. So if I test this out, let's run this once, go back here, let's press generate subtopics. And if I go here, as you can see, this is populating with the sub keywords and attaching them to the correct parent keyword from step 1. If I go to step 1, you'll also see that this record called fitness now has multiple linked records to it. So then I can also click on that and say, okay, this is fitness equipment, or this is home fitness. So just like this, I've created this type of linking together. I can delete step 2 there, and that should be good to go. So now what I want to do is add another column here called create article ideas. And let's put this as a button. And for this, we need to create a different scenario. So essentially what we want is that once we press this button, for example, for fitness programs, then we're able to create 20 new ideas under the umbrella of fitness programs, which falls under the bigger umbrella of fitness. So let's recap a bit of what we've done so far. So the first step was, in a way, you can think of it as like a keyword. And from that initial keyword, we're kind of using automation to, from one seed, go into a full, tree of, or go into a full forest of trees, right? It's one thing into multiple ones. The second step is to take that and go from the whole subtopics into the actual articles, into the actual ideas for the articles. The problem is that before, if you have tried to do this manually, it takes a long time to come up with that additional step. With this system, you're able to use make.com, you're able to use the keyword that you have processed, and you're able to generate these subtopics automatically. From those subtopics, generating 20 ideas isn't hard because the AI is doing all the work. So all you need to do is press the button right here, and the AI will do all the work for you. So ideas like, or that come up from things like workout recovery, strength training, you can very quickly expand into the best workout recovery exercises, or hitting your fitness goals in 30 days. the system will work very quickly. So it makes turning a single thought into a well-organized content plan very quickly. So this is what we're going to build right now. So let's go back here. And what I want to do is go to my make.com account, and I'm going to create a new scenario. So scenario, create new. So now I have a new scenario. Let's call this step 1. And let's call this step number 2. And I'm going to close the additional windows here. Again, this will start with a webhook. We will also have the webhook will receive, let's say it will receive the main keyword, which is fitness, and it will receive the sub keyword. It will also receive the record ID for this specific record. So let's build that in Airtable here. And I have the webhook address, and I'm going to pass along those 3 parameters. So I have the rec ID, which is equal to record ID. Then I have the, let's call it main keyword, which is equal to keyword from step 1. And then I have the sub keyword, which is equal to sub keyword. So like that, I should get all the information I need into make.com. And once the information is in make.com, you can do potentially whatever you want with it. So once it's in make.com, what I will want to do is connect it to a OpenAI again completion. Let me just grab this because we'll have some of the data that is pretty much similar or very, very similar. And let's say that in this case, I want to output, I mean, it could be as many ideas as you want. Initially, I said, let's output 20. So yeah, come up with 20 article ideas in the form of SEO titles based on this sub keyword that forms part of the bigger keyword. So here what I'm going to do is say bigger keyword, sub keyword, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So here I will replace this and say article ideas, and here I'll have article idea 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. I'll just change these, and it will output in JSON format. Now, what I need to also do is I can either run this and just manually drag and drop the data, or I will know that the information will be called main keyword and sub keyword, because that is what will be passed along from Airtable. And this is module 1. So here I can also say this is 1 dot main keyword, and I will also have 1 dot sub keyword. So that should also work. This is JSON, parse response, and that is great. So now, just for testing purposes though, let me just run this, say, 3 times. And I'm just going to remove that line for now. And I'll insert it immediately after. So hit OK, hit run once. We go back here, and now we're going to go for fitness motivation. So if I go back to make, I should have gotten 3 article ideas, which I have done. 10 proven ways to boost your fitness motivation and stay consistent. Fitness motivation tips for busy professionals. How to build long-lasting fitness motivation. Expert advice and strategies. Perfect. So all I need to do now is pretty much repeat the information or what I've done right here. So here I'll have a record ID in step number 3, which is a formula, which is equal to record ID. I'll have the parent keyword. So let's actually link to another record from step 2. It will link to one record only. And let's grab, do we need record ID? Potentially. And we need the sub keyword and the fields. And then I will have the, let's call it article idea. And let's put that as a single line text. Is that okay? Now, let's delete this. And if I go back here, Airtable, I can create, again, I need to iterate because I want to create bundles from these so I can insert them manually. And then I have Airtable create a record. Again, the database is called blogging content system. It is step number 3. For step 2, I'm going to pass along the record ID from step 2, which is like ends in YS. So let me just double check that. Yes, which is this one right here for fitness motivation. For the article ID, I'm going to pass along the value. So this will be, again, for.value. And that should be pretty much it. All I need to do, finally, is just go here. And if I still want 20 ideas, let's change this back. So here, before I had a comma, and I had article idea. Okay, I didn't save that. So article idea 20. Put that in quotes. Double check this is correct JSON, which it is. Copy, paste that in, hit OK. And let's take this for a spin. So again, I'm going to, this looks okay. Press fitness motivation here. And if this goes well, this should give me 20 ideas right here. And as you can see, that is working very well. It gave me the 20 ideas. And then what you could do is kind of build again on this. If you wanted to turn this article idea into an article, you could have another button here, similar to this, but you may potentially call it create article. So you add a button and you keep going like this. But just like this, we started from one keyword. We generated 20 subtopics or sub keywords from that initial keyword. And then from each of those 10, we generated 10 or 20 new article ideas, which you can then turn into fully fledged articles. So just like that, we're able to go from one initial keyword into a full 200 articles that are ready to review, ready to publish, and you are free to decide which ones to go for. So there's a lot of power in this type of system. The idea is that this will give you the full control over the articles that you want to publish. At the end, only the best ideas make it to the final list, which means that the content that you publish is exactly the one that you want. So in this video, you've seen how we started with a simple keyword. We built a system to generate subtopics and keywords, I would say, very effortlessly. And finally, we refined those ideas with an approval process in Airtable, essentially building you a whole content creation system that's ready to go. So if you want to start automating your blog planning and content creation, this is one automation that would be very useful to try out. In the meantime, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos, and check out the links in the description for more information on how I can help you using AI and automation in your business. I'll speak to you soon.